everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi.
And Nick, how was your week?
It was really good, and you want to know why? Well,
Why?
It was crazy busy, but really good. Bridgerton, season 3,
I
part
saw
1.
that on something.
I threw a tea party for myself. I told Casey he could make his nachos and eat them with me during my tea party as long as he didn't say any mean comments about my favorite show.
Okay, that's your favorite show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's of like the last, 5 years, it's my favorite.
Okay. I think soon the new season of House of the Dragon starts. So that's probably my favorite show right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been off for a while because it's been between seasons. But I watched the first season of Bridgerton. I watched the whole first season.
Yeah.
I did
Daphne and
not
Duke.
watch the second season.
Second season was good.
Okay. So I'll have to watch that at some point. But
Season 3 is just, it hits different because Penelope and Colin are like, Penelope is like the wallflower. She is, well, I should say spoilers. Maybe hit that button in case no one has spoilers. I'm not going to spoil anything for season 3, but if you haven't seen season 1, you might not know this. But so Penelope is Lady Whistledown. You find that out at the end of season 1, I believe.
yeah.
So it just hits different because she was like the wallflower, like the one that wasn't the prettiest in the room, wasn't always the center of attention. And so now she gets her own season.
Oh, okay.
And so
this one's about her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's the main love interest. And I'm just like, yes.
Each
get it,
one is a
Penelope.
different, is based around a different
Yeah,
person,
because it's
right?
around the different books. And each book is basically
Oh, there's
different.
books.
Yeah, it's all based on a book series.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why it's like very specific, like the different storylines they follow and why they alternate.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That makes a little more sense.
There's the first part came out. The first part of season 3 came out Thursday.
Which was how many episodes?
4.
4.
And then the second part, which I would assume would be around 4 episodes
Mm-hmm.
too, comes out June 13th or something. So pretty soon.
Okay. Do you think that is just to like keep people on the platform?
I don't know.
Because used to they would just like, oh,
Dump
here's
it all.
here's all of it.
And I think that's what they had done in previous seasons. So I don't know.
Or do you think it's not ready?
It could be for a multitude of reasons. I really don't know. But I was going to space it out over a couple days and watch one episode per night. I watched it all in one. I got too excited. So maybe it is to space it out.
One of the things that I don't like about everything dropping all at once is I watch it all in like a weekend, and then I have to wait. Well, for some of these, it's like a year and a half or 2 years before another season comes out. So I think I've talked about this on here before, that it's just like,
So yeah.
you
There's
forget,
pros and cons.
you forget
both
what
ways.
happened.
Yeah, that's true. But there's pros and cons both ways because like my second favorite show of like all time is Ghost Adventures. And so they do a weekly thing and then upload it to HBO Max.
Yeah.
Max. And I don't know, it's painful either way. Because either I have
if you gotta wait, then it sucks.
Yeah.
But if you've got it like
But if you binge it and then have to wait like a year, it also
It
sucks.
also
So
sucks,
it's
yeah.
like you can't win either way. I just love
Yeah.
my shows and
yeah, I get that.
yeah. But yeah, so that's why my week was good.
Yeah. If
Anything
you're-
happen in your week?
No, not really. Trying to think of anything that was interesting that happened. There's always things going on. But
Yeah.
there's nothing that I can think of that's just like crazy. You're not or I know you like Star Wars, but you're not a space. Like, do you care about space?
Yes and
travel? Have you heard about the this was something, by the way, if you're new, we just talk about whatever we want. So,
Yeah. This is not even relevant to the main topic of this episode at all.
No, not at all. But so Boeing's been in the news a lot lately for their airplanes.
Yeah.
Well, they also were building they've built a rocket capsule to go into space, to the space
Really?
station. It's gone, I think it's gone to the space station once or twice with no people on it.
Yeah.
But it's designed to carry a crew. And it has now been delayed, I think, 3 times in the last launch has been delayed 3 times in the last 2 weeks because of issues. The first one was a valve issue on the rocket, which doesn't have anything to do with the Boeing capsule.
Yeah.
And then I think it was delayed twice for that, and then it was delayed again the other day for a helium leak somewhere. So I think it'd be cool to go into space.
Yeah. But not with current technology.
I don't know. Like,
yeah.
it's I don't know. I think it'd be cool to go into space. But the thing is I don't want to just go. This is going to sound crazy. I don't want to just go to the space station. That's not far enough away for me to justify.
Like you want to go somewhere. I want to like
interesting. Go to orbit the moon and come back.
Yeah.
Because it's like a long enough trip because it takes a few days to get to the moon and back.
Yeah. I feel like I would be more concerned about the technology like failing or blowing up or something.
Yeah.
But also, doesn't it affect your health? Like astronauts age pretty quick, right? Because of all the different effects of things.
But I think one time going back and forth, it's not really going to... I mean, you got to remember, a lot of these nowadays, they'll stay on the space station for 6 months at a time.
Yeah, that's true. So like one little trip up wouldn't be...
if you're going up for a week, I don't think it's going to be that crazy for you. And the technology has also gotten a lot better. We have been doing that, like... I know we come out with new stuff to do it, but we have been doing it for a long time. Like we started doing this in the 60s. Like it's not a new
I feel like it's like cars though. I need to give it 100 years and then I'll do it.
Okay.
Kevin, I just say stuff. I don't know. Okay. I don't even know when the first car was invented.
The late 1800s, I think.
Okay, so it's been over 100 years, and now the technology's better.
Yeah, but it's always going to get better, too.
Yeah, well, I want it to be to a point where I don't have to, like, worry about it as much.
Well, I mean, I don't... Yeah. See, here's the thing, though. I think you have to worry about it more now because you have all the driverless ones.
Yeah. Not that many, though. We don't ever see them.
They're not that common yet. Yeah. But I think that's more of, like, that would concern me more than, like, and I know that they say that they're, safer than a human because it's a computer. But the problem is that
there's unexpected things that happen.
I am a human, and it can't predict what I'm going to do. So that's where the problem ensues.
It's like you have to have all driverless or all humans. Yeah. The combination of the two scares me.
The other thing I agree with on this is, we'll get into our regular topic here in a second. But the other thing I think about on this is Top Gear years ago talked about this, about driverless cars. I love Top Gear. But they made a joke that one of these days, like when every car is autonomous and you're just sitting in it to ride somewhere, there's going to be a guy named Ken who decides that he doesn't need to pay to have it fixed and he can work on his own autonomous car. And Ken, you just know, is going to be coming down the interstate the opposite direction at 70 or 80 miles an hour in a car that he's worked on.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I trust that.
It's really funny that you use the name Ken because that's Casey's name and he's a mechanic and he's the same way. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not taking it to anyone. I'm like, oh my God, okay. That's so funny. But the thing about the Boeing rockets, that is cool. I'll have to tell my grandpa that because he used to work for Boeing, McDonnell Douglas and then Boeing.
Okay, yeah. When they merged, yeah.
Yeah, and now is retired from them and
Okay.
So he'll probably find that interesting because it's very different from what he used to work on.
Yeah.
All the stories I hear from him about Boeing are like he was on the picket line and stuff trying to unionize and things like that.
Yeah.
I hear that side of it.
Okay. Well, anyways.
Shout outs.
Yes. I got hold on. I wasn't prepared. Which one is it? Is it the horn? I can't remember which one it is. Nope, that's it. There it is. Yeah. I can't. There's two of them that are like the same name.
Yeah.
And I can't remember which one it is half the time. But anyway, do you have any shout outs this week?
No.
Okay. So I do have one.
Okay.
And it was not somebody who commented because you guys don't do that apparently. But it's from the boss at the bank.
Okay.
She told me she was gonna comment.
Yeah.
But she was afraid that somebody at the bank, one of her bosses, might see it and think something about it. And I said, "Who cares? It's on YouTube. Like nobody knows who you are. It's a social. It doesn't matter." Mm-hmm. But she said she wanted to comment because the title of last week's episode was, Am I the, hold on.
Find your bleep button.
Yep, there it is. Am I the, anyway, we did some Reddit stuff. And so if you want to do that, go back to that after you finish watching this one and comment on this one and like this one and all that stuff. But she said she wanted to respond, yes, Kevin, you are. And she didn't think that was appropriate, and I'm like, okay,
oh my gosh, I love
fine.
her.
I'll just say it on the podcast. I don't need you to actually put it on there because you just told me, so I'll just say it on here. That's fine.
It's a very her thing to say.
Yeah, I'll say it to our 3 people that are listening right now.
Yeah.
And none of them will probably know, but it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the only shout out. I have this. No, I do have one more because I forgot to do this last week. Mm-hmm. The other day was my mom's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Kevin's mom.
Yes, happy birthday, Mom. I did call her on her birthday. I called her for Mother's Day and called her on her birthday, too.
Cool.
They're always, like, within
close
a week
to
of each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah, happy birthday.
And, yeah.
Of all the sounds, I feel like we should make a happy birthday one. Because we do shout out birthdays.
Do we have, we got something on here. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. Nope, that's kind of a bad sound. Hold on.
That's the opposite of happy birthday.
No, that's the same one. What the heck? Okay, I didn't think that was the same one. Hold on. Do we not have like a happy one? Beep, explosion.
I think, so you know how for the spoilers one, you recorded yourself sing it? I think you should record yourself singing happy birthday.
Happy birthday? Yeah, I don't think I can do that because I think happy birthday is copyrighted.
That's dumb. I feel like it'd be public domain by now.
Yeah, I think it's copyrighted. I want to say it's copyrighted by the Beatles.
Really?
Which is odd, but that's who I want to say it's copyrighted by, but I'm not sure that that's accurate. So, again, we've talked about this. Our facts are not ever accurate. Well, they're as accurate as Google can be sometimes.
If we are like saying something and we say, oh, I looked this up on bbc.org or something like that, then it's true. But most of the time it's not.
Yeah, we're not actually that good at this. So it might sound like it because we have.
Last week I thought Pluto was still a planet and almost cried. So clearly we don't really know what's going on in the world, honestly.
Anyway, transition. This week we're talking about. We're doing more Taylor Swift. We've done a lot of Taylor Swift on this.
Well, like bits and pieces.
There's been like little episodes.
Well, you and Stevie did an episode, I think, and then the rest has just been little comments here and there.
We did an episode last year on the Midnights album when it came out, which was around this time, wasn't it? It was around spring
I don't remember.
or something. I don't remember. But anyway, we did an episode on we did a section of the episode on the Midnights album. Yeah. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the latest one, which was Tortured Poets Department. I have to sit and actually think about that for a second when I say it, because I want to say Dead Poets Society, which is a great movie with Robin Williams, but it's not at all the same thing.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's a really good.
Of course, I haven't.
It's seen it. I'm not surprised you haven't seen it. But it's a really good movie. It's like a drama. It's one of the few,
because he was comedy, right? Mostly,
but he had some really good dramatic roles though. But it's a really good one. It's very sad. But anyway, that's for the other podcast. Maybe one day when we get done with this ungodly long list, we'll get to that.
Of movies,
So anyway, Tortured
Taylor
Poets
Swift.
Department. So I listened to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Couple thoughts.
Okay.
That I'll start off with. One, it seemed short.
It was 31 songs.
Being 31 songs, it seemed short. Like I felt like I went through it relatively quickly.
Did you listen to every song all the way through?
Yeah. But I don't, and I did the math on it. Like the average is like 4 minutes a song. So that seems about normal. But it didn't seem like it lasted.
Were you doing something while you were listening to it?
Yeah, I was doing things. Like I think I listened to it sometimes when I was driving home and like different, like doing different things. But because I can't just, I love music, but I can't just sit there and just listen to music. If I want to,
I listened to it while I was working.
It has to be like a concert or something that I can watch.
Yeah, like you watch theirs. Yeah.
Which we'll talk about on Wednesday. Because this is a 2-part thing too.
Yeah.
Too. So
Taylor
if you want
gets 2 whole dedicated parts given to her.
But anyway. So it seemed short, but again, I don't know that it was. It may have just been the way that I was listening to it. And it bored me. I'm gonna get attacked by the Swifties, by the way.
No, you won't, because I get it. Well, you won't be attacked by me, at least.
Yeah.
Because I get it. It's not for everyone. Just like, I listened to some other albums that people were like, oh my God, it's so great. And I'm like, I don't know, I really liked it.
Yeah.
And I usually like all types of music. I mean, I listen to bluegrass. I listen to classic rock. I listen to pop, like everything, literally.
Yeah, I do too.
And there are times where it's a really popular artist and I feel the same way. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm also going to get hate for this, but like Beyonce's country album, I mean, it's great. I love Beyonce and I've loved a lot of the stuff she did, but I was just like, okay.
Yeah. I didn't listen to that one. I'm not a huge Beyonce fan.
I mean, it was good.
But yeah.
It's just, I wasn't ever like.
Is it? I know there's a couple covers on it because Jolene, she did a cover called Jolene. Was it all covers or was it just?
No, I think some of it was original too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Taylor.
Yeah.
I felt like there was several points in it when I was listening to it that I couldn't tell if I had started a new song or if I was still on the same one because they all sounded kind of similar to me.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's kind of the point, right? Like each album is a different phase of her life. So they're gonna sound very similar. And so I totally get, like, if you're not, an avid listener, a Swiftie, whatever, it's gonna sound pretty similar and there are gonna be times where you're like, okay. But the singles, I think, were all good. I think the singles chosen were very good. And those did sound different than a lot of the other ones that do kind of run together because that's how she writes.
Okay.
But
the other, and I'm not just trying to bash on her because I do like her music. I do think she's extremely talented. It all sounded well produced.
Oh, yeah.
Like it sounded good. It just wasn't. It just wasn't
well,
my
think
thing.
About how often do you really listen to artists' whole album cover to cover?
I mean, I do a lot.
Only for the people that I really like.
Yeah.
Most people, I'm not like, oh, Morgan Wallen released a new album. I'm going to listen to every single song cover to cover. It's like, I also don't really like him that much, but it's like I'm going to listen to the singles for him because I'm not an avid listener.
I don't do it as much as I used to. When I was younger, it was still a time when like you had to buy the cassette or the CD or whatever to listen to it. So you would end up
listening to it all.
You would end up buying it for a song or two songs, and you ended up listening to it all because that's what you had.
Yeah.
So I definitely listened to.
I guess when I was buying CDs, maybe I did that, but also I had a lot of like greatest hits and
I had a few
mixes
of those.
and things like that weren't like a whole album cover to cover, and I didn't ever think about that, but maybe that's kind of why I listen to it the way I listen to it now. Is if it's not an artist I truly love, I don't really listen to their whole album.
Yeah, I get that. I don't as much anymore because I don't buy music that way anymore. So
yeah, that's true. I just use Spotify.
Yeah. So I just it's just a different way that things are done. But also, and there's a couple music YouTubers that I watch. And one of them's a music producer, or used to be a music producer. He's kind of, in and out of it over the years. But he's talked about it before, because every once in a while he'll do like a top 10 Spotify countdown or whatever. And he talks about it on a pretty regular basis, because they're all the same. And it's an issue that I agree with him to a certain extent on pop music, like popular music right now. Anyway, is there's no, even in a song, even in like not going from song to song and saying they all sound kind of the same, just in one song, there's no variation.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one beat that travels through the whole song. You don't have
I agree. Yeah, there's definitely songs that I listen to because they're catchy and they're fun to listen to, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's songs that I'm like, wow, this is like well written. This is well produced. The music is great. And then there's songs that I'm just like, this is fun to listen to in the car.
Yeah, and I get that. I when I'm listening to songs like that, if it's something that I'm like, this is just fun to listen to,
Yeah.
it's gonna usually be an upbeat song.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like there was any upbeat songs on this album.
Yeah, there was only a couple, and the ones that were, it was like, so like I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. It's really upbeat once you get past like the first part, but it's like fake happiness. That's literally what the song is about. Like, I can smile, I can hit my marks, even though I'm miserable, type of thing. Yeah, so I see that, but that's, again, that was her phase of life.
Yeah.
So, and then you get into, as you progress through the songs, there's some that are a little more upbeat, but it's not like her 1989 album or something where it's like super poppy, and
which I think is probably my favorite of them.
I think my favorite
Either
is Lover
that or Red.
Yeah,
Probably my
those
two
are good.
favorites.
Yeah.
I
think Lover was my favorite only because the man is
what's on Lover?
my favorite song. So it's like Lover. What else was it? The Man. Oh, You Need to Calm Down, which was like Shay never made anybody less gay, and I was like, duh, keep your opinion to yourself, basically.
That's
So I always like that. And Cruel Summer. I think Cruel Summer was on the Lover album. I liked that one too.
That's a pretty good one then.
Yeah.
She
has a lot of good that are like more upbeat.
Yeah, and she's kind of like moved from being mostly country to pop, and in
there are a lot of different influences, and a lot of them, like Folklore and Evermore, are very like kind of folksy.
Yeah.
So I like it. Because she's crossed every genre. I mean, I wrote down some of the numbers. So she has 11 original studio albums, 4 that she's re-recorded, maybe 5 now. I can't remember when this stat was pulled from. 5 extended albums and 4 live albums. So like she's got a lot. So it crosses all the genres.
Which is crazy because she's only been doing it for like 15 or 16 years. Like, she's my age.
Yeah.
She's like 3 months younger than me is about it.
Yeah. She started young. Yeah. No, I have no problem with you saying things like, this is what I thought about this. It's when the thing that drives me the most crazy, and I think this is where people are like, oh my God, I'm being attacked by Swifties, is when they're like, so it happens not just with Taylor Swift. It's with anything where a group of women, especially young women, come together and are like, we like this, and then it becomes popular. Don't die. But, when like a group of women come together and we're like, we love this, and then it becomes popular and it's in pop culture, and then people attack you for liking it. That's the thing. It's like, oh, it's so dumb. It's so stupid. That's what drives me crazy. It's not just Taylor Swift. Yeah. It's Harry Styles. It's One Direction. It's BTS. It's any popular thing. Like, no one criticizes men who talk about Call of Duty all day long or talk about the stock market all day long when they have no idea what they're talking about, which is a pet peeve of mine, if you can't tell. But with something like this, it's like, okay, if you're like, I'm a Swiftie, people are like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm like, shut the front door.
Yeah.
And I'm not even like, I wouldn't even really consider myself a Swiftie. Like, I feel like there are so many people that have been their lives have been so touched by her. Like, they're so passionate about it. And I mean, I think she's amazing. Clearly, she's great. She's got 118 Guinness World Records, which that was crazy.
What?
Yeah. So it's just like, it's annoying when people attack it for no reason. Yeah. Now, things like you're saying that you're like, oh, it wasn't really my vibe. Totally fine. Not everything is going to be everyone's vibe.
But I also listened to it before I made any decisions.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't just see this woman who's popular and are like, oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't just say, oh, this has a new album. Let's just, it sucks. I'm not even going to listen to it.
Yeah.
I actually listened to it. This one wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Other ones have.
Which is totally fine.
Other ones I've liked.
Yeah.
So, it just kind of depends. I want to hear some of these records.
Okay, I don't have it pulled back up. Let me look it back up.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and it listed them all out. And it was all like music related, video related, stuff like that.
Okay.
But the whole point was like I was looking at like, so I was looking also more into how did she become so popular, so ingrained in pop culture? Because with anyone that's this famous, I'm like, I love knowing how they got there. And that was just one of the things that I saw, but I don't have it pulled up anymore. But it was a lot of like music related stuff. But just like attacking someone for no reason, or attacking the people that like her for no reason just because you think it's stupid or childish or whatever. It's like, get over it. I that's what drives me crazy more than someone just saying, "Oh, I don't like that song" or whatever.
Yeah, I get that entirely. But it just wasn't. This one just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It's too, like I said, I just got a little bored with it. I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. So. Yeah.
And that's totally fine. Not everything is going to be everyone's things.
Yeah.
I loved the songwriting. And there were a couple. So part of her like popularity, and I think why she's so popular is because she may not live a relatable lifestyle nowadays. You know, obviously being that famous.
Yeah.
But the things she writes about are very relatable.
Yeah.
You know, like I can do it with a broken heart. This is the one I mentioned last time. It's like I cry a lot, but I am so productive because I literally cry at my keyboard at work.
Yeah.
Like things like that. When she says that, everyone in the world has had a moment where they're like, yeah, I relate.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's so many different things that are relatable. And I like that. And I think that's part of it rather than just writing about nonsense. And so I like that everything she does is well crafted. And relatable, and I think that's part of the.
Oh yeah, I agree with that
as well.
I agree with that.
Some of the critiques I've seen for this album are just like you said, and then another one I saw was okay. So you know the song "Fortnite" with Post Malone. That was like the first.
It's like the first one, yeah.
So there were a lot of people criticizing like you didn't give Post Malone enough track time and things like that. But he has the whole bridge.
He commented on that a while back, or
Did he?
something,
I didn't see it.
Like, but I don't remember what it was about.
Like he has the whole bridge, and if you listen and know like how she writes some of her songs, the bridge is sometimes the most important part of the song.
Yeah.
And so like to give someone else that part of the song, I heard it and I was like, wow, like she gave up that whole bridge. That's awesome, and he did a great job. I thought with it. I also love Posty, so I'm a little biased. It's like when Harry Styles does stuff. I'm like. Yeah. Killing it, even if it's just like he picked up sushi. I'm like, you're doing so well.
Even if he just picked up sushi.
But you know what I mean? But like, it still was really cool to see Posty get the bridge of that song. You know, so I thought that was good. So I didn't really understand that critique. But then a lot of them I do understand were basically the ones you said. I can't think of anything else really negative that I've seen about it except for people just not even listening to it.
Yeah. What was your favorite song on this album?
It's a tie between I Can Do It With a Broken Heart and So High School because I relate to those the most.
Okay.
I feel like there are others that are really well written and I really enjoyed, but then for me it's always like it's what's most relatable is the one I just link onto.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It sticks with me. So those were good. Yeah.
There was two that I wrote. I feel like I wrote down something.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there were any that you were like, oh yeah, I did like this one.
There was one that was towards the end that was okay, but I wasn't I don't remember if I was driving or what, but I couldn't write down anything. I couldn't look at my phone.
Oh.
So I don't remember and I couldn't find it. I couldn't figure out which one it was when I tried to go back because, like I said, they all kind of sound the same to me. So
yeah.
I don't really know which one it was, but I did like it. But let me see, because I thought I wrote down something on something here.
Yeah, there were a lot.
I did like what's Who's Afraid of Little Old Me?
Yeah,
that's I did like that one.
When she performed that, so she added a lot of Tortured Poets Department stuff into her sets. She's in Paris right now, or was just in Paris.
Okay.
Anyways, on the Europe side for the Eras tour, and added a lot of those in. And her performance of "Who's Afraid of Little," it was so good.
Okay.
So good live.
I'm sure that like the live would be more interesting for me, but and then the other one that I wrote down was Albatross, and I don't really know why.
Yeah, I like that one too.
But those were the two that I specifically noted something on. But
and then The Alchemy was not like anything that stuck out to me originally, but then I re-listened to it and I was like, that's the one I sent you that I was like, this feels like it's about the Chiefs. So I thought that was cool. I don't know if it was written before or after, if she added some things after, who knows, but
yeah, I don't know how long it takes to go through that process, like to make an album nowadays. So
but there were some that I was just like, it was that one in So High School that I was like, if this is not about the Chiefs or Travis Kelce, I would be like shocked because it's so spot on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good album overall.
Okay.
And I really enjoy listening to anything she puts out, just like how I am with some other artists too.
Yeah. I have gotten to where she's one that I pretty much am probably going to listen to.
Yeah.
At some point when it comes out, I'm going to listen to the whole album.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of people I'm going to do that for, but she's probably one of them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, do you have any do you have a fact for this week?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. So, my fun fact is what?
No, I'm doing a joke.
Oh, for the fact.
Yeah. There's like a big smoke cloud that comes up.
I didn't know what you were doing.
I was just being a moron.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this fact has absolutely nothing to do with Taylor Swift.
Okay.
It was just one of the facts I found interesting. The University of Oxford is older than the Aztec Empire. The University of Oxford first opened its doors to students in 1096. By comparison, the Aztec Empire is said to have originated with the founding city of Tenochtitlan. I don't know if I've said that right. At Lake
Probably not, but
Texcoco by the
Probably
Mexico.
not,
All these words I can't say. I'm so sorry I butchered it. But it was in 1325. Like 300 years.
300
later.
years.
Yeah. Which is just crazy. So I thought that was interesting.
That's
History and time is so shocking sometimes.
It's shocking the things that happened at the same time. Because, like, the Aztecs I think of as, like, yes, an advanced civilization, but still kind of like an old time, like, we're gonna like, do sacrificial things to people and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think of a university. You don't think of as being like something like that, or in that time, like
in that same time frame.
Which I know that, like, you had the Library of Alexandria back in the ancient times. That was like, people would travel,
and it could have been like that.
Study.
Like, it was very selective. It was only certain people that could get in. I'm sure Oxford was the same, but because I don't know, they say the University of Oxford first opened its doors in 1096, but I don't know what that looked like. It's definitely not like it was today.
No.
Yeah. So what that looked like, I don't know.
Do you think there's any buildings on campus that are at all anywhere close to or what they were originally? Like, do you think there's any buildings left? Anything
it would be
left
hard for me to believe that because when we went to Scotland, I mean, there were things from the 1300s that were literally like pebbles on the ground, ruins. And the only...
But if you the thing is if you are able to upkeep them, that's the only question.
Yeah, but how much can you upkeep them?
10, that's 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a long flipping time.
It's a long time for a building to, even if you upkeep it, to stand.
Yeah, but the pyramids are still there.
True. But that's Kevin.
That's true.
That's
true.
alien technology.
That's true.
I guess the University of Oxford didn't have alien technology. They weren't smart enough for that.
Sucks for them. Anyway. What's
your fun fact?
So I have A couple that are just Taylor, like a couple that are Taylor Swift related.
Okay, so actually related to the topic, not like me.
So it says Taylor is named after her parents' favorite artists, which was James Taylor. Was one of them.
I think so.
And I don't know. I'm guessing Swift is just the last name. So, the other one that I tried. So I talked about. We watched the Eras, or I watched the Eras thing.
Yeah.
And you've already seen it. We're going to talk about it on Wednesday. So.
Yeah, catch the movie corner episode.
Yeah, the movie corner episode for Wednesday for that. I tried to find this again to send it to you to watch. Because when Taylor was like 17, 18, 19, something like that, she did an episode of CMT's Crossroads.
Okay.
Which was a show that they used to do, which was like concerts.
Like country music television, CMT?
It was, country music television. But they would do, two artists would come together and they would perform each other's music and their own music and stuff like that. And it was just like an hour. They're just like an hour episode each. But the one that Taylor Swift did was with Def Leppard.
I think I have heard of that, yeah.
Def Leppard came out with like a country-ish album at the time. And I saw an interview with her, and then there's one in the show, and she talks about how like she was a big fan of that band. Yeah. So it's just kind of interesting because those two don't match at all. Yeah. Like this was when she was still very country. Obviously on CMT hadn't changed to pop yet. Yeah. And Def Leppard is like a hair metal band from the 80s. Yeah. So
I like both of them.
I love Def Leppard. Yeah. So
I know we've seen them. Yeah.
So I do love Def Leppard, but
funny.
I don't. I mean,
I think I have seen that, and I think you had told me about that before too, like reminding me of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to watch something interesting, go find that because it's a lot of fun. I
haven't seen the interview. That'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it was part of the episode that they did. I'm pretty sure I watched it on YouTube a long time ago. Okay. I don't know if it's been taken down because I couldn't find the whole thing. I found like clips where it's like here's a one song or here's half a song or whatever. But that's more of a pain to try to send somebody than just sending like here's the hour-long episode. And I couldn't even find like a streaming service that had it. You had to like buy it on Amazon, the actual Amazon, and not just like Prime. Amazon Prime or whatever. So anyway, that's my fun facts. But those, like it. I try to stay on topic.
Yeah. I tried for a little while and then I just didn't. Like going back to when we had the cemetery episode and then my fact was about Abraham Lincoln. Like I just can't. I find a fact that's interesting to me and then I just can't get it out of my head.
That's fine. I mean,
I did do a good job for a while there.
Yeah.
That actually had a fact relating to the episode. Or if we had a guest, I would try to find something that they liked. Yeah. But, I think for Sophie, I did Cats or Taylor Swift or something.
No, I think you did Cats. I think you did Cats.
Yeah.
I want to say you did something with Cats.
So.
But,
I strayed from that again.
Haha, but a bum. Stray cat. Oh. Just a slight delay. You good?
Yeah, we can be done.
Anyway, okay.
We could have ended before that.
Okay. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, let us know how we're doing, let us know what else we should talk about, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.